Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special one shot here on Goblets and Gaze. I am Aki, or Akino if you're feeling fancy, and tonight I will be your GM as we venture through the thrilling world of Undying Corruption by Nine Heavens Press. Our lovely friends over there have sponsored us for this one shot with a fully written and homebrew adventure titled Dirge for my bygone days. This adventure is fully converted to Pathfinder 2e and a level 4 party one shot. Joining me today, we have a full queer, mixed Asian cast, and we're going to go as alphabetical as we can. So please state your name, pronouns, who you are playing, and feel free to include things like ancestry, heritage, class, background, and archetypes. Just your general little build of a character. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go with the order that I see in the Discord chat. So, Joe.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Josephine. I'm at Scary Dog Friend, and I'll be bringing to you my pathetic, unlucky man, child, baby girl, Chanyol Park, or Pak Chanyol. I'll be playing a Lord of War Sangun, the catfolk heritage who could trace their bloodlines back to Hanya, the primordial tiger. I will be the barbarian of the Unbound Instinct.
Okay. My name is Amihan. I use he, they pronouns. I am playing Daesum. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Who is a night witch. Noru Sylph with the Mudang background. They're essentially this dreamy deer centaur person with a love for the dreaming of the mortals in general. So, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Rook. I will be playing Keeper. We both use they them pronouns. Keeper is a spirit of deliverance Jang-sung cleric. I'll be getting more into detail what that means when we get into the one shot. Very excited to be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and today I will be playing Lahum, who uses they, she pronouns. Lahum is a Kitsune Gumiho Mutang. They are an oracle, specifically an oracle of bones, and she may just eat your liver and ghosts. Don't worry about it.
Hi, I'm Theta. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm going to be playing Dun Hitbit, who is a Vishkanya rogue of the Naraka class, and is a dual wielder. She is also about 50-something years old, and something like a veteran, and also just here to judge people, both literally and metaphorically, because that is her job, judging people. Oh, and she uses they pronouns.
Awesome. So before we kick this off, I'm going to really quickly go through some content warnings so that way you understand exactly what kind of tea you're about to submerge yourself in. Content warnings, these are expected themes in the game. We have death, gore, undeath, zombies, spirits, haunts, supernatural phenomena, classism, elitism, historic oppression, like wartime, and maybe some no-no food. Yes, and with all of that said and done, I think we're ready to get started officially. Boom, boom, boom. With the unification of Garim into Goryeo, bans on religious practice have been lifted, and the Black Bear clan has been allowed to construct its temples. You are all members of the Black Bear clan who have been summoned by Mother Semna, an elvish Mudang who had just been recognized as your clan elder. So, you've all been summoned. You're currently on your way to a courtyard, essentially. Who shows up first? And when you do show up, tell us a bit more in detail of what you look like.
I can go first. So the only reason that Chanyeol is here first is because he was so afraid of being late that he showed up hours before and has since fallen asleep leaning against his greatsword. Chanyeol is a large, 7-foot tall, approximately 300-pound sangun with the telltale orange overcoat and the black and white stripes, but there is a slight red tinge to the ends of the paws and some of the joints. Some from blood, some from a genuine, presumably holy hue. He, like many of the Baekjung background, those who have had much time in labor, there are lots of scars on the wrists that are visible, some of the hair that isn't growing very properly, scars against the face, and a red sort of male hanbok, but it's more suited and aligned for speed and mobility. So he is just currently sleeping soundly, just sort of leaning against something on the ground.
You will see kind of doing that stiff kind of like Star Wars droid steppy. You see kind of approaching Keeper, who is this average height, 5 foot something, porcelain statue. A beautiful painted face with the eyes are painted closed, although you can tell that they can see as one would with organic eyes. A part carved, part painted black sari with gold filigree and kind of this kind of gold pointed crown on their face. They are kind of like they're just walking very calmly, very serenely towards Chanyeol.
I think that Daisum would come in next. You'd probably hear like, like offbeat hooves sort of coming in slowly, probably from behind both of you. And then like a gust of air kind of ushering in as they step towards you. And then that would probably cue you to turn around, perhaps, and see Daisum, who has the upper body of a humanoid and the lower body of a deer, because they're Noru, apologies. And they stand pretty tall, I think around, I guess 7 feet or so, from hoof to the top of their antler. And they normally Noru would have like golden fur, but since they are a sylph as well, they have taken on this deep indigo violet blue kind of almost like you think it might be translucent, but it's just how reflective the light is off of their fur and their skin, and their hair is billowing behind them in like a cloud-like form with a sort of like mistiness, a morning mistiness perhaps. I hope that's the time of day. But like, yes. And they are also quiet as they approach. They're just observing who is here, and they will continue to observe whoever else comes in. They're only wearing like a shawl around their shoulders, nothing else. Yeah, I believe that is Daisum. They are looking very intently at everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's probably about the time Hitbit shows up. She shows up kind of like a few minutes right before what can be construed as late. And I think she shows up like on the back of some farmer's cart. Kind of just like, I'm not gonna walk that distance. And then like jumping off, standing at I think about 6'3" to 6'5", you see a older looking like person with a very round face, of somebody who like hasn't necessarily ate well, just has a round face, and like scars kind of just gash across Hitbit's face. Hitbit is muscular and built like a fucking farmer. Like, if you look, you'd be like, ah, yes, this woman is a fucking farmer. Her hair is kept short and black. And she's not wearing anything particularly fancy. She's not really wearing a handbook. She's more dressed like some combination of what farmers would wear, so minbok, with like the farmer's pants and the farmer's jogori. But instead of like a farmer jogori, she's instead wearing like almost a ruffled shirt of a pirate and a coat, like a Western style coat kind of pulled over it. And that shirt is definitely just opened all the way down to the navel. She's just a little bit like a slutty pirate, honestly, despite the fact that she is definitely a senior citizen at this point. And she just strolls in. I think she like just kind of waves before immediately just sitting down on whatever sort of pseudo chair she can find.
You all wait and wait and wait. And just when you're about wondering where is the last person that's supposed to be here, is when you feel it before you hear them. And this chill sort of goes through the room as Lahum enters. You didn't hear them because they are barefoot. And Lahum, as they enter, they are this 5'8", probably on the shorter side in this group, person, kitsune person who walks in. They have this very lithe figure on their face, on their light brown skin. They have these dark freckles, like pockmarked all across their face. And you can see this large scar going across their neck, across the front, starting up near their ear and coming down. And she has this very long, like all the way down to her lower back, long white hair that is stark white. And it matches the ears that are perked up on her head, as well as each of the 9 tails that she has. Lahum's tails at the very ends, at the tips, are this blood red color, and their ears are sort of matching in the same. And as they walk in, this sort of chilly air following them, you can see that they are wearing a similarly blood red colored hanbok, but it's wear is a funny term. It's more so really just kind of draped over them in sort of this facsimile of wearing it. Part of it is like off of one shoulder and it's been very loosely tied. It seems as if Lahum maybe only just recently got dressed and sort of like came in. Despite this, however, she kind of walks in very slowly, not seeming to realize that she's late at all or that people are waiting for her. And she walks in, surveys the room, and just says, "You're all a sight for sore eyes."
Keeper pushes Chunyol over.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
Did you sleep well?
I mean, I was.
Technically, I'm not the only one that's late then.
I think they were here before the rest of us.
Unconscious, though.
So
Yep.
yeah.
I do believe there's a difference between being here and being present, so, you know.
Keeper's face doesn't move, but you can see them giving you a look.
Can anything on Keeper move?
No.
So we're getting a look from something that just not move. Okay. Confirming this.
As long as we're all here, it doesn't matter if we're late or not. Who are we waiting for again?
I am not the one who handles the paperwork out of all of us. So
I mean, I'm not the one that handles the paper. Do any of us look at any paper?
I look at the wards sometimes. Does that count?
how did we get here then? Who of you has
What is a
paperwork?
ward?
Why do they let
To
us
drive
be a
away the
group?
spirit.
That's me, Rook, asking us, the players.
Listen, Black Bear Clan and the Mudangs, all very literate people. We're the sort of oral traditionalists, I guess.
I will say, that your new, I guess, clan elder. So that's Mother Semna. Excuse me, who summoned you, is relatively inexperienced for the position of like guidance that she is given, and how you feel about that is totally 100% on you. But yeah, that is essentially something that you would all know, considering that she is the elder of your clan.
I think Hitbit kind of knowing that then actually will probably just kind of groan like ugh and like shove herself off the floor where she's just definitely kind of sitting and like clasp her hands around her mouth and say, what's the Mudang's name?
Semna?
Simna.
Samna. Okay, and then say, Samna Mudang! Kind of just shouting that, like, come out, wherever you are. I prefer to get this over with sooner rather than later.
You hear wood being sawed, and carpenters and laborers are yelling at each other over where to place baked building tiles, or the most optimal geomantic placements for shrines. Though you're in the stone-tiled courtyard of a shrine, the frantic energy completely disturbs any sense of peace one can ordinarily find here. And kind of as you like scream over or not scream, shout over all of this, you see this bespectacled elven woman in this yellow ceremonial humbuck just like pop her head out of like like a bunch of tiles all stacked together, uh, and she just wipes like a bead of sweat from her forehead and she goes, oh, there you are, hi. And she'll just like kind of like yeet. Honestly, yeet. She yeets over and just kind of welcomes you all and goes, first, I'd like to thank you for answering my summons. It's a busy time for our clan, and as we mend our roots in Garim, or former Garim, to the matter at hand. And she just like looks over and kind of sputters a little bit as she's kind of interrupted by like earthenware shattering. And in the distance, you can see an apprentice has dropped a blue tile from the roof, and now their master is yelling like vulgar profanities at them. And Semna kind of just sighs and gestures you all to follow her down this stone staircase underneath like a thicket of trees. And as you do, she will actually. What do you do? Do you follow or nah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I follow and I make sure everybody goes first because I feel like I would take up a lot of space. It's just funny. It's like whole hooves walking down the stairs.
You're also like 7 feet tall. We also have a
Yes.
7-foot tall tiger, but like hooves are different from from tiger. Um, she's she is mindful enough to not like speed down or anything like that. But she will continue talking kind of as you're walking. And she will say, so the Black Bear clan has received a request from the capital, Asadal. You will investigate an official having gone missing in a local area to the northwest. His name is Han Hyung Min, and he's a halfling gentleman. He was to return after assessing the cost of wartime damages in Shimshin-ri a week ago. And as she kind of explains, she lowers her head and looks up at y'all a little bit conspiratorially. Just goes, if he was held up by bandits, then that's one thing. But there has been a rash of undead in this area, as you know. So if you figure out that it's the former, well, try to return so we can tell the government it's beyond us. And if it's undead, well, then just trust in your training.
You called the right people to handle undead.
We're getting paid for this one? Is this
Of
one
course.
another freebie?
No, we don't work for free. Unless sometimes we work for free. But this time we're getting paid. We're getting paid.
I know.
This is a government official. There's some good money behind this, and we could use it. And kind of as you climb down the staircase, you reach a stable that had been built, and it's managed by, honestly, a rather lazy stableman who was not doing his job, sees y'all coming, and then just stands up at attention, and essentially is ready to attend to you and your horses. And Semna will continue and say, anyway, each of you will have a horse to ride to Shimshin-ri, and you'll each find a bottle with a potion of healing inside one of the pouches of the saddles, yes. And one of them has a map that you'll all be sharing. And she's actually like checking the pouches to make sure it's like, yeah, that's one bottle, that's one bottle, that's one bottle. And I would say these healing potions are, oh dear, 1 second. I will tell you what the healing potions are.
1d20 plus 7,000.
No.
For a second, I thought Joe was giving the actual.
Yeah, right.
It's a no, you're getting real healing potions, I swear.
7d10.
700.
7d10.
25 hit points flat, always.
Nice.
Here it
It's
is.
a level 7 heal.
They should all
Different
be.
system.
No,
They
the heal is. I have that spell. It's.
They should. They're going to be a mixture of minor and lesser. Minor healing potions only restore a D8. A lesser healing potion restores. Goodness, restores 2d8 plus 5 hit points. And I would say, considering that there's like, it's 5 of y'all, right?
Yeah.
We'll say it's we'll say 2 of them are lesser, 3 of them are minor.
I'll take a minor.
I'll take a minor.
Take minor too then.
Guess that leaves me with the lesser.
Yes. Good pickings, I see. Great. Can I actually just take this equipment off the horse? I won't need to ride one. So, unless you want to see that happen somehow.
Honestly, I think that would be extremely funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I really need a horse either.
Yes, if you don't want a horse, that's completely fine. And she's going to look at the stable hand, whose job is to get the horses ready. And he just kind of stands there for a second before remembering what his job is. And then he'll just take some of the packs and saddles off and just kind of at first he handles you the saddle with the pouch and then thinks about it for like 2-3 seconds and then puts the saddle down and just gives you the pouch.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Damn, now you're getting microaggressed.
Yeah. And I take the pouch off of one of the horses.
Mm-hmm. And
I suppose if that's how we're going to travel, and I will do the same.
Like you
I
more
will absolutely hop on one of the
horses.
Keeper is like stroking their horse, and like you, like because their mouth doesn't they don't really have one. Like you hear their voice kind of like rumbling from within them, like they're just going horsey.
Oh,
For Bina Nuna, let's put the old lady on the horse and let's put Keeper on a horse at the very least.
One Siggy,
all
right?
All right, 2 horses it is. If you have any more questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them before you head off.
Where was you said An Songhyun?
Yes.
An Hyungmin, and we're
An
going to the
Hyungmin.
capital.
An Hyungmin.
Where were they seen last?
They were seen last in Shimshin-ri. It is it's just marked on your map. Just you follow it. It's no big deal at all. It's like I would say at least with no trouble should be only 2 to 5 hours to get there.
You sound very
Northwest of here.
confident about where we're going.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Not get funds for housing or food or...
I lean over to Desum. I have a +6 survival.
I'm sorry, you have a plus what?
6 survival.
I don't know. I heard it somewhere.
Oh, that's very
No.
strange.
Like a number.
Did you hit your
You
head
know-
somewhere?
I've always hit my head.
That explains it.
On a scale of like of 0 to infinity, I would rank my survival skills as a 10.
Amazing. Is there any other questions you'd like to ask Mother Semna?
She doesn't know what the fuck is going on, so we just gotta go out and figure out what's going on. So I think Chanyeol is pretty much like I think has like secondhand like pity, embarrassment, even though he's literally someone that has like gone and fought wars. He's still like, oh, we'll just gotta placate the person who's like in authority right now, and is like, let's just get on the road. Let's see what we can do. We may not be Mudong such as Daesum or whatever, but we at the very least, the most of us can protect ourselves and get us where we need to go.
I think since we've all been around each other for quite a bit, you probably know that Lahum likes to, as much as they can, kind of embarrass people in authority when they clearly don't know what's going on. And she's like, you can see in her face that she's like going to ask more questions just to point out the fact that Semna like clearly doesn't know what's happening. And I think it's a matter of like quite literally taking Lahum by like the arms and like dragging them out so that they don't stay here and do that.
I think Hitbit actually does have one last question, or at least I do. I don't know if this was covered. What does An Hyung-min even do?
Oh, he's just an official. he's gone. He was meant to go check on just wartime damages, get the bill, and specifically gone to check on lands to help rebuild. Essentially, something like that.
Checking for fantasy iOS then. Got it.
Probably. That's pretty much it, though. He has been missing for a week.
Well, I guess we'll all be going. No more questions. Nobody, no more.
No more, absolutely
Okay.
not.
And then no. Okay, all
Oh.
right, let's go.
All right.
They clop off very loudly, like just trying to make noise over whatever Lahu might be saying.
It just does not care if Lahum decides to say anything, but I think she'll follow after because she's like, I'm actually done with my questions, and this was good. I don't feel the need to say goodbye.
Hamna, can I have your permission to just pick Lahum up?
Yeah.
Cool. I just scoop Lahum.
The white tails are just swishing in your face as you do
Yeah.
that.
Gasp. Uppies.
The last words Keeper says, uppies.
No.
And then leaves.
I'm gonna put a reverb echo on that.
If you die, I hope you realize
Uppies.
that
Please.
that would be Sevda's last memory of you if you were to die. Uppies.
Actually, no, that's fine.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting this to be the character. I was.
On brand.
Let's be real. But yeah, on brand.
So, you traveled. Now, besides idle chatter that y'all will of course make, this is a pretty chill ride for, I want to say, the first 2 hours. You don't really see much besides things you're used to seeing. So, the normal, besides the normal, the general territory from of the Black Bear clan, you also see their temple as you kind of go off in the distance, and the grass covered land surrounding the dirt road slowly becomes more visibly war torn and earth charred, blackened from repeated fireball spells and dragon's breath and all those big sounding scary spells. And now you can kind of make a few checks here. If you'd like, for let's say any recall knowledge checks, and for my new Pathfinder babies, a recall knowledge check is quite literally to remember something, in which you can roll an intelligence or something else that I tell you. In this case, it would be society, to remember things about the land, your mission, etc., things you just would know as a person who lives here. You could also just roll. You can roll religion, because you already know that you might fight undead. It's kind of an occupational hazard, and others, I would say, your standard perception. If you would like to keep an eye on things.
I'd love to do perception.
I will roll religion.
Mm-hmm.
I can do
I'll take
society.
a religion check.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
I might go.
Oh wait, I have. Cool. Okay. So that's a 22 religion for me.
19 religion.
27 perception.
Mine is not worth mentioning. I'm trying to not fall off this list.
I got 21 for society.
Okay. Let's do society first, just because I got a nice little chunk for you. So 21. You know that in terms of general, I want to say current news / history, history is currently being made, I would say. in terms of what's going on as you move from wartime to perhaps peace. So you would know that both the old Girim and the Govrio militaries have finished scouring these battlefields to recover the fallen. And a few dragon, cobalt, lizard, dragon adjacent, all of those types of clans, they have sided with the Goryu and employed dragons in both initial and final battles as a show of force, hence why this place looks fucked. The remains of those that died from the dragon breath specifically, you'd know, could not have been recovered. And these scars of battle still kind of pierce very deeply into the soil. So even though some time has passed, and of course the general forces of nature, you can still see kind of where a battle would have happened. Definitely would know, like, that's a fireball stain. Just one of those type of vibes, the impacts of the earth. You would also know that Shimshin-ri is a small rice farming village that is known to have been loyal to the king Gongye, who was the tyrant ruler, who declared himself like the reincarnation of Moksaka, the awakened one. And whether initially due to self-preservation, the worship of Gongye became a common thing, and so it was kind of caught in the crossfires of the Goryeo military when they were suspected of harboring escaped officials. Typical of like government bullshit, honestly. And so the government kind of seeks to take charge of reparations and repairs for the victims of war. Hence, why perhaps the official might have gone there in the first place. Boom, boom. Religion. What did my religion babies get?
19.
19.
22.
22. Okay, so you both get this one. So since the final last few years of the war between Girim and Goryeo, kind of like the wraiths of those people who've died without proper burials became super common. And Garim's inability to exorcise these wraith spirits, whatever, after repressing religious groups outside of the worship of the Tyrant King, is like the main reason for its surrender. It just got overrun by ghosts, is the best way to put it. And since then, the military and y'all, the Black Bear Clan, kind of have mobilized to cleanse these lands. In a very largely has been, I want to say, successful. Relatively speaking, it's been successful, but there's still so many wayward souls and bodies of soldiers that come to life. They all kind of roam these roads, forests, lands very commonly. It's just the best way to put it is that it's gonna take a while, and so I feel like you would know better to be better prepared for what you might see as you go further into literally cursed grounds. And perception. What did you get for my perception?
27.
27. So, Chanyeol, you, as you're walking, because you're like one of the 3 people who chose not to ride a horse. Are you still carrying
I think so. Yeah.
Dope. So you,
I think I'm sorry. I'm holding Lahum with one arm, essentially, just kind of cradled.
So you have been Not really, actually. So you immediately notice that there is an armored figure lying face down in the grass, along with like two skeletons, all hidden in the grass. Um, yeah. What would you like to do about that?
With the 27, is it possible to see or smell like rotting or like any breathing?
Yeah. I would give that to you. Yeah. You can. So in general, I for my heightened sensed babies here, this place smells rank. You know, it's like charred and spoiled all at the same time. Um, this air is not fresh or funky at all. Like it's not great. There's like a huge like difference from entering these lands to the lands you're familiar with back home. So yeah, and kind of as you see these figures lying down, you would probably be able to tell that well, they're chilling for now, but they're about to be unchilled.
So sorry, they're rotting.
They are rotting.
Okay.
But like they're probably gonna get up. Like is
Right,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
saying. Yeah. Is the best way to
Um,
put it is that the like so undead,
okay.
not that smart, but somehow smart enough to lay an ambush.
To animate, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get ready to deal with some ghosts, y'all.
Does this mean that you're gonna have to put me down?
I can't, yeah. Do you want me to keep? I'm gonna put you down.
And Lahom, like, I think, like, laughs a little bit at that and kind of like looks up at you. You are so tall in comparison to them, like so ridiculously tall. So they're like looking high up at you. And I think it's the tails that are longer for her. So it's one of the tails that actually comes up and just kind of like brushes up against probably your shoulder. It doesn't even reach higher than that, but brushes up against your shoulder and thanks. What exactly are we trying to fight? I don't see anything around us.
In the tall grass, there's a rotten body of skeletons. I'm not sure if there's anything that y'all got prepared or anything to a quick exorcism of sorts.
I can try something. You point them out so I can see at least one of them, right? Cool. So you kind of watch as Keeper kind of like raises their hand, kind of like towards their chest, kind of like leaving space, and you watch as these kind of like veins of kind of like kintsugi, but instead of the gold, it's this kind of like pulsing green and black and purple energy. As I just throw a disrupt undead towards them. So one of them, whichever, makes a
I would
basic
say
fortitude save
that
for me,
the
please.
armored body is the easiest to spot because unless pointed out, the skeletons are hiding in the grass, so they're like probably not the most they're probably not visible to you unless point. Whereas the body slowly becomes a lot more visible to y'all. It's a dude in like armor. Boop boop boop. Let me see. And what save did I need to make?
A basic fortitude. DC 20.
Get shit on.
No. No. No, it's me rolling. So I crit succeed.
Oh my
I'm so sorry.
god. Does that mean no damage?
Yeah, it means no damage, and I think it knows what you tried to do.
Okay, that's fine.
I gotta.
Cool. You watch this like blast of energy just kind of like bonk off the armor and go flying
And,
off into
I
the
think
distance.
with
Well, that's
that,
supposed to happen.
No. Definitely.
you see this figure like crawl out of the grass, so now it's visible to everyone. And kind of like it gets up, and whoever is on horse, actually, who's on horses again? For me,
Keeper and old lady.
Hitbit and Keeper are.
awesome. Both of you need to make an athletics or a nature check to stay on your horses because they are spooky.
And do.
It's nature or athletics.
That's a 21.
27.
Okay, you both manage to stay on as your horses kind of like jump on their hind legs. Natural horse skitter. But you can maintain control and keep them steady, or make them run, whichever your choice is. However, the rest of y'all can kind of hear what sounds like rocks or something with comparable hardness, like clicking rapidly against each other. And the creature, now that you can kind of see it, is a Taktakuishin, which is an undead soldier that has died in the midst of a battle. Specifically with its heart gripped by fear. Now, based on like the armor, you can all kind of easily tell that this is like a minor officer that was killed, and there's like this arrow that kind of just a part of an arrow that kind of sticks out of its body, sort of where the armor kind of parts away for the skin to be seen, or what's left, honestly. And it points at you all with kind of like this somewhat commanding presence. And actually, it says, "The enemy! Where is the enemy?" And I need you all to actually make a wisdom saving throw.
My goodness. A
Uh-huh.
wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, make a wisdom.
Like a will save.
Yes, will save. My bad. This, yes, a will
It's
save.
Pathfinder.
It's
Nat
path-
20, baby!
Oh, so bad.
Dirty 20.
Oh.
14. Here we go.
Oh boy, I got a nat 1.
Oh.
Oh,
I didn't do much better. I got a 2 for
Oh
a
my
total
God.
of 14.
Got 2 14s and a nat 1.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's
Well,
It's the sound. Those are sounds that I make.
Great.
My 2 14s and my sweet that one. You are all frightened 1.
Rude.
As long as you're kind of within.
Yep. That makes sense.
You're within this aura, I would say. Out of character, when you will recover instantly once you're outside of this aura, but sort of as long as you maintain proximity with the Guishin, you have a -1 to everything, basically. And it actually, so what you can do right now is, if you wish to fight it, you can give me your initiative rolls. However, you are all Mudam, essentially. So if you would rather, you could give me a society or diplomacy check. Because this is, for the most part, a sentient undead.
Mm.
It's just kind of the aura is always on it, if that makes sense. You just kind of have to live with being a little scared.
Do we all get to participate in a role, or do we like assign it to like just one of us for the group?
You can all. I would say you can all do either because you are all knowledgeable enough to know what you would
Yeah.
like to do. You're also a group that know each other decently well. So it really is just you want to talk or you want to fight.
Can I argue that this could be a spirit lore check?
Yes.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
I will give guidance to whoever wants it, which is a +1 to your roll.
Yeah.
I will give guidance to Hamna, who is
I can
in the
do
pleading face at
diplomacy.
me.
I will do spirit lore.
I'll do diplomacy as well. I would ask to be scary behind somebody, but I have a feeling that's not going to help.
That
with
is not
anything.
You're
going
frightened.
to help. And
And I'm
you're
just
you are you're frightened, one, and also if you were acting scary behind someone, that's an intimidation, and
yeah, I figured
I would
that's
say
not
that
help
would be
with
more like
diplomacy.
it would not, it would complicate things.
Yeah.
Were you saying something, Amihan?
Yeah, I was trying to decide if I could do spirit lore too, but I could also do society. But maybe if I get like
What's better?
Oh, that's a good question. What is better? Oh, okay, spirit lore. I'll do spirit lore too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that. And it's a natural 20.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And that's gonna be for a total of 30.
Oh,
Oh my
delicious.
god.
Even though I'm scared out of my, I'm
scared.
I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think Hitbit is not going to try to diplomacy. I think Hitbit is going to back up and try to disappear into the grass.
You're on a horse.
I'll jump off the fucking horse. The possibility.
It is, but it will increase the DC for you to sneak off into the grass. Because you're on a horse, you're visible.
Yeah.
Falls off the horse.
You're not. Yeah.
Falling off the horse. I think Hitbit will just get off the horse, not fall. Just hide. I think Hitbit will just get off the horse, but back up.
Yeah. The idea is that you also still, if you wish to keep your horse, you also have to keep your horse in check. So when the rider is not on the horse, that will also it makes things more difficult. Yeah. The horses were spooked first as well. So there's also that to consider in terms of the DC, just so more transparency's sake. But yeah, so let's do our spirit babies first. Spirit lore. Laham, it's a little bit difficult for you, I would say, because were you also got a 14, right?
I got an 18.
You got 18. Okay, so you were fine. While you're not scared or startled necessarily,
Laham got a natural 20 for the
on the
wisdom
save I got a nat 20.
Oh, on the save,
18 is the spirit lore. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so you're not scared. You weren't even spooked. In fact, perhaps you saw it since you were like being carried by Chanyeol that whole time, and you were like, "I wonder what happens next." It's just a little. What's a little prank between friends? And so, I would say, perhaps you are more interested in what happens next. You know that this is undead, and you know the general weaknesses that come with undead, so you can be prepared if things go south, because they could. But I wouldn't necessarily say that you are concerned with figuring other things out besides the fact that, yeah, that bitch dead. It's probably sad. That's just where it falls. Is like it's dead and sad. So is like half the other things here. But Daesum, you are you're able to see that in the armor there are colors that are kind of withered away and bloodstained and whatnot, but there are still colors. And those make the armor originating from Girin, which means this is, I guess you could say, like an enemy soldier that was attacking the side that you were on, essentially. And you also got like all majority of that society information. You would know that one of your jobs is also to calm restless souls to help them move on. And this guy still thinks he's in the middle of a war. Diplomacy babies. Actually, before I ask you what you say, Daesum could inform you of this information if they wish.
Yes, I'll essentially relay everything to everyone, and then I'll do it a little scared, probably sounding a little frightened, because maybe perhaps this person is so distraught it's like affecting them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Chanyeol goes kind of like begins to bridge a slight gap between the group and the ghost in front of us. Just sort of like hasn't drawn his sword or anything, but just like sort of like attempts to put them like at the same eye contact level height, and he just sort of says, "All right, come on, brother. It's over. We'd like for you to rest. How can we help you?"
So it is lifeless. Honestly, it when you look into its eyes, for to roughly say. But you feel that there is this sense of understanding beyond all of this general confusion. And you actually see it like move a hand, not to grab like a weapon or something. And this thing has a couple of weapons to fight you with. But you see him kind of call off the skeletons that were in the grass, and they actually go from hiding to standing. So you see there's about 3 skeletons there. And so for just for the spirit lore havers, you both would know that they're like lackeys. So they serve under this under the Grishin, essentially, like subordinates, essentially. The Grishin is their general. They still think they're in a battle for their general. And the Grecian will look at you, Chanyeol, and say, "I must redeem myself through battle. I must."
We are not here to give you a fight. We're here to help you.
If you wish to lie to them, because you would know that they are an enemy, you can lie to them to convince them that the war is done. And they've won. So there is no reason to fight. Or you can try further diplomacy to exercise them without the fight.
Further diplomacy.
Further diplomacy.
Can I give Chanyeol a guidance?
Amazing.
Absolutely.
You get +1.
Okay. 14 plus 7, 21? +1, 22.
Dope. You kind of see it. They're not necessarily their shoulders slump like they're disappointed, but more so they were stiff because they were just ready. They were ready to fight. They were ready to stand at attention. They were ready to do soldier things. But they slump a little bit at the thought of rest. and they stand up a little bit straighter, and they just give you a nod, and you may exercise them. I'm not sure if the Mudong background, because I know at least one of you has the Mudong background. I'm not sure if it specifically states if you are given a special skill to exercise. If not, whoever wants to exercise can make just a general religion check, and I'll be happy with that. Or you can do a group religion check if you would all like to participate in the exorcism of the Grecian and the 3 skeletons as well, as they would like to also rest, is probably what you can gather.
Should we do 3 rolls for each creature?
If people want to solo,
1 roll for each creature. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 roll for each creature if you want to do a group. If people want to specifically solo it, then that is a solo roll on your choosing.
I think Chanyeol does not have a good religion, so Chanyeol is going to continue to be almost part of the ritual as a binding force for 3 other people in the party to exercise.
I guess it
Lahum
makes.
walks.
Yeah, I was
No, you go.
gonna say it makes. No, I was gonna make sense. It kind of makes sense for us to kind of do
Yeah,
that.
Lahum walks forward on their bare feet against this ground, seeing that you have sort of placated this Grecian, and she puts a hand on your thigh, wherever she can actually reach, to sort of gesture that they can help. And you can see as they kind of walk forward, their eyes have this reddish glow to them, and their 9 tails start, I think, moving a little bit more rhythmically, a little bit more intentionally, as they sort of go down, and she is going to reach out a hand and put it on this Grecian's face, and it should go through, and yet somehow Lahum's hands make contact with the Grecian as they start to sort of begin this exorcism ritual, waiting for Keeper to sort of join as well.
I think if it's okay with you, Keeper approaches you, puts the hand on the other side of the ghost face, but then with that other hand, takes yours, and kind of I think part of the ritual that we specifically do is it's kind of like a symbolic representation of both sides of divinity, the living, the holy divine and the undead divine, and just kind of there is no war here, there is only peace, as whatever spiritual energies keep us both existing kind of meld and put this being to rest.
I got a 21 religion.
Maths.
Am I rolling?
I got a 29.
Only if you want to participate, and you can just kind of roll in general, or you can roll to aid.
I can help maybe Desum, aiding Desum as part of it, because I will fuck this up.
Yeah, and aiding can be. You can sell me on a roll that you want to make for aiding, because these are rituals technically, so there's tons of things that go into them.
Could my previous diplomacy rolls just sort of help Desum as this is another one of my comrades that could help you see your own peace? I don't know if Desum has a religion. I'm just assuming.
But yeah, I would totally allow the diplomacy to help Desum essentially do whatever they want.
Do you have a good religion?
No, not particularly.
I only have a +0 to it.
I have a +1. So
okay, and I'm giving you help. I'm aiding you.
Okay.
So.
All right then. Sure. So I guess
if you don't want to help exercise, as in you make a religion roll, I also don't mind you both going to help someone else or helping the other two who have made religion rolls, and I will just count your next rolls as extra bonuses based on what you get.
I'm not sure if it would make sense for me to exercise, but I
Okay.
think, yeah, I'll just try to help too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah,
I
that's
argue that the third role could be an occultism role?
yes.
That
I
changes
would
things.
allow that. I will allow that. As you are, it would still be under the guise of exercising. It's just religion is the most common one because of religious practices. But like occultism, yeah, these things are undead. 100%.
Okay. That will work perfectly then. And if Chanyeol still wants to help with that, I'd also
Yeah.
accept that. Yeah. And so that's. And what does help do again for Pathfinder?
So the aid roll essentially will give you a bonus, and I believe you said you wanted to use your previous diplomacy roll, which I'm totally fine with. What was it again?
22.
22. So you would just get a +1 to your roll.
Okay. That's gonna be okay. 13. What's that number? Oh my god. Can't do
21.
math. Yeah, 13 8. Yep. 21. I get a 21.
21, 21, 29. What does Habit want to do?
I don't think Hitbit is particularly useful as well to kind of like exorcisms, unless they're exorcisms of particular malcontents, and this is not a situation where spirits are malcontent.
You can totally just wait on the side and be like, I'm gonna make sure the horses don't run off.
Yeah, literally.
I think Hitbit, like at most, if she were to help in the exorcism, would be something about like fighting the natural laws of order, like the dead should stay dead. But beyond that, I think Hitbit would honestly just be standing to the side with the horses. Like, if this goes wrong, I'm ready to fight something.
Yeah.
Until then, I'll make sure the horses don't run away because I would prefer to have my ride.
Murder grandma.
Okay.
I have a
For me-
question.
Yes.
So I not done. Dason was frightened. Is that still like okay? So it would just be a dirty 20, just to clarify. And also, I don't think they would. They would definitely help from where they were standing.
Okay, dope. And for you, Habit, make me a survival check then.
Oh, okay.
Just because of you're waiting, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't survey in a sense.
Yeah, my survival is not great. Is there a way I could persuade you to perception, arguing that this is kind of perceiving things that are going on?
Yeah, I'd be fine with a perception check. And as you do that, the rest of you. The exorcism goes off without a hitch. It's very smooth, and you properly lay these bodies to rest. I would say a part of this ritual is to actually kind of perform some sort of burial rites for them, whether you actually bury them or the ritual that you cast perhaps burns them to ash, which then allows them to be scattered. Either way, you're able to perform this exorcism, and it goes very, very smoothly. If you would like, what is left over is essentially you will find this. You will find the pike, which is a weapon, just a regular one that the Grecian was carrying. That is up for if you want to take it or not, or leave it. It's totally up to you. You also find this red norige tied to the Grecian's belt, and it is a decorative pendant crafted and tied over tying a knot over a tassel, and you can tell that it was perhaps a good luck gift given to him by a partner, and this can be sold for like 5 silver.
Lahum will take this norike from the remains of this Guishin that we had just exercised, and without saying a word, is just going to tie it to the end of their 9th tail, which, as you would all know, they had just recently gotten only a couple years ago. And so they kind of like switched their tail around, and they look at the group smiling. What a way to celebrate, right?
I can go ahead and grab the pike, and I think, I guess just like as like a side note thing, I think Chanyeol would like to bury the body on the battlefield, so at the very least he still has that connection to the war, even though it's over in all technicality.
Yeah, if you need help, I think Hitbit will
Yeah.
hand octopuses to somebody and
Luna.
help.
Well, what did you get on your perception check first?
Oh, it was a fancy 16. I'm rolling shit.
Yeah, nothing happens, but you don't catch anything either.
I figured.
Yeah.
Yo, pulling out my extra dice because these are failing me. I'm being betrayed by my own dice.
After y'all do this, essentially, sorry, keeping track is hard. It'll take you, I want to say, roughly a couple more hours to get where you need to get to the village. And as you do, you will not really see any more of these undead lying in wait, as it's covered over by random patches of grass. Honestly, it kind of scatter a little bit like a Pokemon road where it's like, haha, encounter, but also kind of weird. As you get closer, the village is kind of in sight. I have 2 questions here. One, does anybody have abilities or skills or spells that allows them to sense undead, whatever?
I do. I have spirit sense.
Spirit sense works, yep.
I think I also have spirit sense. Yeah, I have spirit sense too.
Very quickly for me, could one of you read what spirit sense does?
Yes. It is a 2-action spell, 30-foot emanation, duration of 10 minutes. You open your mind to the metaphysical, enabling you to sense nearby spirits. Even if you aren't searching, you get a check to find haunts and spirits in the area. You gain a +1 status bonus to the following checks regarding haunts or spirits: perception checks to seek, attempts to recall knowledge, skill checks to determine the reason for their existence, and skill checks to disable a haunt. You also gain a +1 status bonus to AC and saving throws against haunts and spirits.
Now I have another question. Does this spell have the divination trait on it?
It is divine and occult traditions, but otherwise does not. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Detection, divination, mental.
Okay. So if you want, I would say you get the sense, the vibes that okay, something feels a little not right. And so you and Daysum could make that spell check. I believe it will give you like a modifier or something like that, or tell you what to roll with it. If not, I will allow you to just roll whatever skill you use magic with.
I assume this is a perception check to seek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I'm pretty sure it'll give you a bonus as well. So like, feel free to take those. You are no longer under frightened, by the way. So
Okay.
everything is back to normal.
Perfect. Oh, I got a 16. Wait, no, 17, right? Because you can add 1. to
Mhm.
it? Okay.
That is a dirty 20.
Daesum, you know that there is something afoot, or a hoof, I guess, for you.
Yes.
Though you can't pinpoint if this is magical or if this is spiritual or if it's something both or if it's just sort of like there's layers to this. That much you can tell.
Okay.
But Lahum, you look at the town. You really, really look at this town, at this village. And you can see that. Let me actually just read you what the description is, and then I'll tell you what you actually see. The rest of you see the village of Shimshin-ri appears to be like this oasis of verdant life surrounded by greenery, struggling to flourish. You can hear the laughter of children and adults loudly conversing with one another. Crows perch atop of hay rooftops and they're cawing. And you can even see further into town, there is this large open field. It's a bit like of a muddy patch, and it's being tilled by oxen and steered by farmers guiding them. Um, but what you see is this barely put together, it's broken down. The grass is beyond dead. Any animal that remains here is skeletal. Um, any human, no, I shouldn't say human, any of the villagers here, you can just one glance you can see past this illusion, past their lively faces, and they're all in several different forms of death, I would say. Some have flesh still, some have none at all, and they're basically just glorified skeletons, but they're all moving. And they're not attacking at all. They are living. No, they're not living. But they have a very nice routine. Laham, you see all this fucked up shit. Everybody else, you see a surprisingly chill village. But if you like turn around, that's still like battlefield war ground.
Lahum will take a look around at all of this and say to whoever's next to them, which I assume might be Chanyol, if Chanyol is still kind of leading the group a bit.
Yeah.
It seems like we might need to exercise the whole town.
What are you talking about?
Do you not see it?
It looks the same as what we had just crossed upon.
Look a bit closer. Watch. Let me show you. And I will take a step forward, look back at the group, look back at the town, and the nearest undead person to me, I am going to cast Soul Siphon on them.
Oh shit.
What does Soul Siphon do? If you can read that for me, please.
I siphon off a portion of the target's soul to bolster my own vitality. The target must attempt a fortitude save, and then I will let you know what happens after that.
Amazing. So,
Aki, if you crit, you're gay.
if I'm well, all I would need then is a goblet. But no, that's gross.
Keep that in the final cut.
Okay.
I'm just not gonna use any of my fucking rolls. So I will say, just based on the roll, your spell is gonna go off, and you will activate your minor curse, whatever that does. For you, you can read later. But I will say, you will not get any of like the benefits of siphoning one's soul, because you will notice that there is no soul to siphon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Your minor curse still happens though. So what is your minor curse?
The actual mechanical thing that happens is that non-magical effects that would restore my HP only grant me half as much now.
Mhm.
But what you actually see happen is as Lahum casts Soul Siphon, you can see that bits of shadows on the ground start to come towards them, and they sound like bones crunching, even though there is no actual physical material that is being pulled. As they come towards them, it kind of goes into Lahum's feet and they get absorbed in, and you can see the bottoms of Lahum's feet start to blacken and their flesh start to tear away bits by bit, almost like there is almost as if they are decaying and rapidly aging in front of your eyes. They start to sort of um, almost collapse in on itself and sort of flay away a little bit, revealing some of the bone that is underneath. And the creature will take 2 negative damage. And normally, you would all notice that when Lahum has done this in the past, there has been some sort of reinvigoration of them, of their body, of their even their spirit in some ways. But for anybody watching, that doesn't happen. And you can see sort of the confusion on Lahum's face as she casts this spell, but doesn't seem to. It works, but doesn't seem to go all the way.
I will say, for anyone that has something like detect magic, or yeah, you know what? Detect magic, or even read aura prepared. This would be like something that kind of just sparks like a thought in the back of your head to maybe try to use this.
This Barbie is a barbarian.
I am a rogue. I don't have any magic.
And I love you both. I think every other bitch you might not have those spells
No, I
either.
have detect magic.
Oh, nice.
You may use it, if you wish.
Yeah, sure.
Detecting magic. All of it. The whole village. Whole village, down to the crows.
All of it.
Everything just lights up for you. Like if you had, it's the equivalent of when you when your desktop screen turns off and all the notification moves onto your phone, and it's just like just everything down to the dirt that is on this, beneath this village. Everything lights up. Highlighter yellow. Actually, any color you want, but like I'm just like using it. It's all of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you want, make an Arcana
Okay.
check. If you would like to determine perhaps the school of magic.
My Arcana is not great, but my spell casting skill is religion. If you'll accept a religion.
Not for this, because of the spell that is on the village. Or the, you know what, that is the best way to put it. The spell that is on the village. Yeah.
Not great. It's a 14.
Yeah, you can't tell what school of magic this is. But you do know that there's magic afoot, and it is all of it. It is everywhere. And I would definitely say towards the villager that Lahum essentially attacked, you see them like stumble and fall like to their knees, and then they stare, not at you, but just not even forward. They stare kind of like diagonally towards the ground, kind of like where exactly where their head would have fallen just by falling to their knees like that. And they stare and they wait an uncanny amount of time before they stand back up and turn around, continue doing whatever they were doing before.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, if they were kind of like, kind of acknowledging us, but yeah.
Actually, a different villager will acknowledge Laham, who has entered the village. You see this half-elf priest of Shangjushin, the household god of construction. And he wears uncolored rags and carries over his back like this bundle of small branches, kind of like he was on his way to work, but he spotted you, and he kind of walks on over and he introduces himself and goes, "Oh, hello, I am priest Gangdongin, and this is welcome to Shimshin-ri. I take it you're looking to stay the night, maybe?"
Yes.
When you say yes, he turns to look at the rest of you that he now notices and gives you also another welcoming smile. Like, come in, come in. We've got, honestly, we've got some of the best rice here. Plenty full of rice. Make sure you pack up or stock up, I should say, before you're on your way out. Is there anything else I can do for you here? Are you hungry? Lost?
I think Hitbit is going to try, however, like take a look towards Lahum and be like, is this dude also undead? Is this dude alive?
What do I see?
Undead. Specifically, it's a zombie. Honest to God, most of these villagers I feel like would fall under the classification of zombie. For you at the very least. But this is his robes are kind of like tattered and whatnot, kind of like rolling in the dirt type of tattered. And the bag that he carries, the small bundle of branches, is honestly it's empty. It just kind of the bag itself, actually I should say, the bundle is broken. Like there's rope and hemp just all over the place hanging, but he carries it so firmly, like there's weight, not yeah, weight to it, or as if the branches are like poking against the neck, so he kind of moves his head to the side a little bit. I would say straight up, he believes he's carrying something, and the rest of you, it's a bundle of branches.
Lahum looks over to Hitbit and just very quickly shakes their head no. So hopefully only Hitbit sees that.
Wait. Hitbit is looking to like, is he undead?
Oh,
Yeah.
the no is like, no, he's not alive.
I'm gonna. Do we think that Hitbit gets that?
We've worked together before. Like, we know how we communicate.
Yeah, so I think Hitbit's like kind of just nods very quickly back and turns back to the priest and says, passing through town. We are looking for a friend of ours.
Oh. Well, the only other person I can think of that I've welcomed to town, a rather official-looking halfling. Is that your friend?
Unhuman?
Yes, something Hyung Min, something, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we've been looking for him, so we were kind of pointed this way to try and find him. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, by the way.
So nice to meet you as well, friendly travelers. Your friend, if I'm being entirely honest, I have lost track of him since greeting him here. I only really just tell travelers where they can go off to, but the villagers here are very friendly sort. So if anything, you could go over working the fields over there. Our boss, our honestly the village bosses would be over there. You can also head on over to the inn, the Shimshin-ri. Yes, yes, that is most likely where most of our travelers stay. So the inn is a very good place to check. And oh, there's also the village doctor and the village elder. Those are really the only places I can think of a traveler coming through, especially one so official.
We will definitely head to the inn then. Do you mind pointing us to where the village elder is? Imagine he would have gone to talk, Unsi would have gone to talk to whomever your elder is.
Yes, just over top of that hill over there, and he'll point the way. So that's where our elder is, and she's a very lovely woman, very very lovely woman, and the inn is just down there. You can't miss it. There's a big sign.
What is the insight check equivalent to Pathfinder?
It's it is perception. I personally like calling it the vibe check. Would you like to run a vibe check?
I would love a vibe check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make one. It's perception.
27.
Whatever he's saying, he believes it, and you believe he believes it.
But it's possible it's influenced.
I would say that you can feel something off just by your perception check. The way when you look at him, you can see like when he has to think about a question or something that comes up that perhaps would be a lot faster for y'all to like maybe respond to, in terms of like, like, I don't know, oh, where's this? And you can go, oh, it's over there, because you've lived in this village for so long. You can kind of see like the equivalent of buffering.
Mm-hmm.
It's very subtle, but you see it where it's just that pause is uncanny. It's uncannily too long for one who's thinking to stand so still while pausing, and then they answer, and when they're back in motion, it feels lifelike, it feels normal, But in terms of like lies, nope, doesn't feel like he's lying.
Okay.
Feels like he believes what he's saying.
Can I do a stealth and sniff him real good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll stealth.
Can I try to...
Natural 1.
I was gonna say if Chanyeol in any way just tries to map what he is doing, then Hitbit try and like distract the dude, but you
on that one, and that one's not gonna work out.
I just like smash my nose into the top of the head.
And you do that, and the priest is like, oh, okay.
If you allow me to, I think Hitbit would like grab your head and kind of just shove it back and be like, I am so sorry for him.
Daisum goes, you can't just smell people the first thing you do. Anyway.
We used to serve together in the army. You know, people get weird habits in the army. Just pats Chanyeol's back.
I had a purpose, I promise.
Little drunk.
Well, I think perhaps we'll go to that inn now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy yourselves. And
we will.
He'll
lovely, and we'll be sure to try that rice.
Yes, the rice. Best around. Plentiful. During the good times and the bad.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Hitbit will just turn around, I think, with hand maybe still on Chanyeol's shoulder and be like, come on. Like, let's see if this works, making it look like it's natural and not like weird. It's just really awkward.
Trudging
Mhm.
on.
So I'm assuming you want to. Okay, you were given two places. You were given the inn. You were given the village elder. Who would you like to go to?
Should we try to go for our person, or maybe get some more information by talking to somebody first?
Yeah, we need to find somebody alive in this town.
There might be nobody. But I think if anyone's going to be alive, it might be whoever their elder is.
Sure.
Then let's go.
Yeah, elder time.
Go to the elder.
Everybody votes for the elder.
Mhm.
Baller. So, the highest authority in Shimshin-ri is the village elder, who just by like hearing, paying attention to the locals, you would know is this elderly old woman who goes by the name of Jung Jae-kyu. And she's an elderly woman who spends most of her days playing Go, and essentially just overlooks the entire village from her home. Majority of the time, that's where she spends. And so, as you climb up the stone steps of her home, you see her just sitting there smoking a very long pipe, and JQ just she looks at all of you and gives you a nod, and then continues to smoke her pipe essentially until you come up to her, because there's no way she's coming to you. That's just stubborn old lady. Like that's just the vibe. You know, that's just the old lady thing. Yeah, no, you came to her. You're gonna come all the way to her. For you though, Lahum, zombie. These steps, yeah, and these steps are they're like broken, I would say. Like you can walk up them still, but you can tell like off on the side there's chipped from an impact of something. That there's cracks in the foundation, and it's a hilltop mountain, meaning that perhaps there was once grass and greenery here, and it is all wilted, dead, straight up sheared from any sort of life, honestly. um, if you want to make a perception for more possible information of your surroundings now that you are on the hilltop and you can see the rest of the village, feel free to do so.
I will. And while we're walking, Lahum is going to relay to everybody else in the group as well that the woman we're about to speak to is not alive.
I need to redeem myself.
Oh, lol, I'm gonna do so bad. Watch it.
23 perception.
21 perception.
26.
My God.
Oh, I got a 26 too.
Eee.
Only a 25.
Only.
What do you mean only?
Only a 25.
Okay. Do. So, for the rest of y'all, specifically where this village looks like a pretty nice village. Honestly, like that's the vibe of the village. You would all notice that the village elder has some motor issues. Like when she is sitting and like kind of leaning and chilling, but like every so often when she like perhaps goes to dust off her pipe from the extra ashes and smoke or whatnot, or honestly excess whatever, there's some shaking going on with her hands, and she is sitting on a few cushions as well to help kind of like alleviate any extra stress that her back is perhaps feeling, or her legs, depending on like the honestly the motor issues. The rest of y'all look. You can outlook and see the village and its layout. You still see like the mud paddy land essentially that is being tilled by the oxen, and I would say two half orc looking women, buff, and they're just doing the farmers. Those two in particular were pointed out as like quote unquote the bosses of the village. Now that you can kind of see on top, you can probably guess why. It's because they're massive. You can clearly see the inn, and you can also clearly see down a ways worth where the doctor's house is, and that is specifically bigger with a smaller like building, kind of not building, shed kind of behind it. And there is that side, and everything honestly just kind of looks fine and dandy. You can see kids running around playing, you can see people doing miscellaneous works. You do see the priest taking a seat somewhere though, and it could be a trick of the eye, and then distance, honestly. But for the higher 20s perceptions, I would say 25 and higher, pretty still. And you have Keeper with you. They're made out of rock or whatever. Wood. I think it's wood.
It's porcelain, but yeah.
Goodness. Okay, they're just there. And they don't move or emote. Well, they move, but they don't emote. The priest looks uncannily still. And for you, Laham, this is a battleground. This is not a battleground. It's more like a war site. Something came through here. Could be some things like plural because the battlegrounds are like right there. But you actually, you can see past. You can see through this. What everybody else can make out as like, hay, grass, flowers, etc. You can see these giant gashes into the walls. You see these houses really are barely holding it together. There's straight up holes in the tiling of the roofs. Some of them don't even have roofs, okay? Some of them don't even have doors. And you can see people like opening and closing them as if there were doors there, And yeah, honestly, everything just looks super, super janked. How's your survival checks? I think make a survival check, just in case. Why did I say how? And just
All of
Lahum,
us?
by the way. No, just
Oh,
Lahum, because Lahum can see this. The rest of you are like, what a nice village. The priests
I
look a
got
little
a
weird, though.
I got a 6.
Oh, no. You're like, that's a gash, that's a hole, those are marks on the dirt marks.
I think she
They-
relays the information exactly like that, where she just kind of starts pointing stuff out, but says it that way, where she's like, there's a hole over there, and there's a big slice through something over there.
There's a lot of
This
holes.
village is a cake.
What? Have you had
Keeper.
cake?
No. Keeper is just, permanently deadpan, but is just kind of just deadpan looking at you.
You were at the village elder's house at the hilltop. What would you like to do?
What is everyone else doing?
You were all looking,
We're all looking.
and you're all done looking. So, what would you like to do?
I mean,
I'd like to hear from Keeper and Desum personally.
Sure. So I think their spirit sense was not as nearly as successful as Lahum's, but Desum can kind of sense that like whatever is in front of them, something is slightly off, just a bit, but it's more it's so pleasant that I think Daisum is like kind of getting absorbed and just like observing how like happy everybody is and how this village just seems to have, I don't know, it did not look at all what they thought um what it would look like. And they say out loud, they say, I am a bit worried about Hyung Min. So if perhaps we could talk to our elder over here and see if maybe they had some sort of communication with Hyung Min, seeing as they definitely probably wanted to try and help restore this area. Maybe they were successful, but it's strange that they're not here anymore. So, what do you all think?
I don't know about successful given the state of everything here, but I agree. Best way to figure out what happened is to talk as much as they can.
Sure. I'm aware you're seeing something different to what I'm seeing. So, I think if that's the case, then someone here is doing some sort of Nah, I can't even tell. It's just such a very vivid. It's like a vivid dream to me. Sorry, this is out of character. Did anyone specifically really want to talk to the elder? Like,
Dana wanted to gossip with her.
Well, no. So I have a thing called Eyes of the City, which means that you can track down targets with the help of locals.
okay,
Yeah,
sure,
which
that
helps.
works. That works just fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, it will allow somebody else to talk if they seem itching to talk.
You know what? I think I'll just let you do your eyes of the city. Because if you were gonna do the old lady gossip, yeah.
Yeah, Hitbit, I think, will then, like, step forward to walk up to the old woman, and, like, give her a quick short bow, and then just kind of stand there, straight backed and vaguely stern looking, I suppose, as she always does, and say, hello, I'm Don Hitbit, this, I think she'll just kind of motion to everybody, like, introduce yourself.
Lahum. Pleased to meet you.
They assume, and they'll kneel on their hoof, and then get back up.
Keeper. Keeper is unmoving, and by their sides. After that, detect magic, and what information Lahum has shared. You can see the kind of like cracks appearing on their fingertips, and just sparks of like electricity and fire, just like they are on edge, but they are kind of like hanging back and letting others do the talking.
Chanyeol, and then does like a 90-degree angle bow.
This old woman, JQ will just kind of nod to acknowledge all of you just being there and speaking, I guess. Though the now that you're a bit closer, specifically Lahum, these motor skills that she is experiencing are because she lacks legs. Yeah, that's just about it. Zombie, no legs. Rest of you, this a small old lady. She's just doing her best, and she'll look at you and go, "All right." Nobody comes and sees the village elder without needing something.
You'd be correct. We are here looking for Undying Min. He's an official who passed through town, apparently. We were hoping to find him.
Mm-hmm. Official. I might have seen someone. Yeah, I might have seen someone. Yeah, I don't know. But what's in it for me?
Mind if I take a seat?
And she gestures to it, like, help yourself. And you'll see there's like this like go table in front of her, and she was like kind of playing against herself. And you will see her kind of move the pieces back and just goes, you know what? It's been a few hours since I've last played with someone else. Yeah, you play me, and if you win, I'll tell you something.
I'm afraid I am not the best player of Go. Didn't have much time for learning it as a child. Was a little bit too busy with other things.
While this is happening, can I cast Vision of Weakness, but flavor it so that I am specifically trying to ascertain this woman's go strategy?
Yes, because I like that.
Okay.
Oh God, let's make this very, very clear. Hitbit has a 0 in intelligence. Hitbit is not prepared to play any strategy game whatsoever.
It's okay. We're gonna give you a bonus somehow.
I have the closest thing to anything that could theoretically work is I have Hunyo lore, but that is a location.
Keeper looks over your shoulder, points at one of the pieces, and says, "That stone looks delicious," and gives you guidance.
I think Hitbit will look over at you and be like, "Okay, thank you for that helpful information. As I play, can I try and make sleight of hand checks to cheat the fuck out of this?"
Yes, that would be thievery.
Yeah, I have a plus 9.
That would be thievery if you're cheating. Absolutely.
No,
Though, kind of like as you play, she will simply go, "If I win, I'll tell you what I know, maybe. And if you lose, you have to pay me 1 silver."
Oh, that is
All things considering, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Okay, God. Am I rolling an intelligence or am I just rolling a thievery to play then?
You're cheating. You're rolling thievery.
Okay.
And
Thievery? How much is guidance?
And guidance is +1. And also 1 second, Laham, your sense, what was it?
Vision of Weakness.
Vision of Weakness. Did you need to make a roll for that at all or no?
It is a focus spell, so my curse will go up, but it provides a +2. Technically, it provides a +2 on attack rolls, but since we're reflavoring it for the Go strategy, can I make the argument that it is a +2 to Theta's roll?
Yes. What kind of bonus is it though? Does it say status or circumstance?
Status bonus.
Status. And Rook, for me, can you please tell me if guidance is a status or circumstance bonus?
Guidance is a status.
Status? Okay. So you will only get a +2 theta, as it will be towards the higher bonus rather than that. But I will say you do feel guided.
You feel guided.
And you do know that the stone is delicious. So.
Yeah.
You know that the stone
That
is
one.
delicious as well.
Yeah, I would say that 1 stone you got there, it's kind of tasty looking.
I pick up a rock and I just kind of go, I lick it and I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Oh God.
Laham,
I'm looking
the rock that was picked up to be licked, it's kind of really gross.
Chunyul, I wouldn't.
And Chanyel just like pulls the rock away from his face with like the most upset cat face ever.
Maybe we
just didn't
don't
taste great.
lick random things that we find in this village.
I'm sad.
Daisum, for me, I think you've seen enough weird shit, specifically the uncanny shit around you, that you could make another. Oh goodness, what did I make y'all roll again for your for your spirit sense?
Religion?
Mm,
Arcana?
Yes. No, it was religion, I think.
It was religion.
It was religion. Okay, I'm gonna let you make it with a cult this time, solely because, um, as you kind of look out, you notice that strange shift from the priest, like that weird layer of fuzz that you know that there's something going on, but you just can't see through it. It just dissolves, and the priest himself even is no longer walking upright, like honestly, like full of life, like they were just going to work and whatnot. They are straight up kind of like zombieing it, like they're kind of shambled a little bit forward on one end and slumped on the other. They're not they are dragging their own feet essentially as they walk, but the walk is more like a crawl as they kind of just shift in a direction. It looks like they're trying to veer into where they were going before you before they met you, which was by the front. It's just they went in, they took a seat, and then they got up, and they're continuing their path towards where you can see other villagers working on something miscellaneous. But it's just, I don't know, the walk. The best way to put it is that's a zombie walk. And you can full see that is not the same it was maybe the same person you saw, but there's a shift in everything.
All right. So you want me to make another roll?
E.
Okay, that's going to be a 22. For spirit sense.
Tell me what it looks like when this veil drops and you see basically exactly what Lahom was seeing. This beautiful land turn into a war-torn, battle-scarred remnants of a village filled to the brim with zombies and skeleton animals.
Right. So, Desu makes this expression of like absolute horror and awe, even though they knew there was something like off about it, and even though Lahum had made these descriptions, wasn't anything in comparison to what they're seeing now. But it happens like there's like a mist that rolls in, and it's kind of like a painting. It sort of creeps in to their vision, and they see like the buildings go from like these bright like probably like well built structures to these derelict empty they understand like probably how horrible the encounters were here, like with the roofs caved in and then the bricks just scattered about the ground, and then they see the zombies, the people just kind of slowly turn to zombies. It like bleeds through like ink on a paper, and it's kind of horrifying just to see a person just decay like suddenly. And so they sort of like take a few steps back, and they breathe and they go, oh, that's what that looks like. Okay. Yes, definitely don't eat anything off the ground. And can I like, so what does the priest look like now?
The priest, I will say the thing like its visual dropped, and that was what was able to kind of ping you to essentially
got you.
like rip through the rest of this village. It was like a tear in the fabric, right? And you like the wind, whoosh. I will say though that you can make a survival or nature would be kind of meh. But yeah, I'll allow nature actually, because as you're kind of like seeing everything again, you will also notice like the same thing about the steps on your way up. There were gashes here and there and whatnot, and Laham did point out, it's just like hole that's scratched. Ew, like, and so you're just looking, like hole, scratch, ew, and you can take a proper look at them as well, because now there's a new pair of eyes that can actually see past the illusion.
A 24 for nature or survival. Yeah, nature. I'll do nature.
Yeah, takes you a second to focus on. It's not really a pattern, but it's the way these marks are. Maybe you even take a couple steps down to like really look at the closest one. They look like large claw marks, which that can alleviate to many animals. Could even be like a weapon if it was attacking the ground in the exact same motion repeatedly. But then you notice it kind of like leads off into a direction, this destruction. And it does not lead outside the village, but rather further inwards, past the inn, towards the village doctor's stay. And you know exactly where that is, because that is the very, very large building. And you can see that it continues and fades off a bit, because distance, but it's definitely like wherever this attack happened, it moved further inward. And we'll come back to you as during that time a thievery check happened. What was the thievery check?
Thank God. That is going to be 29.
You can cheat. In fact, it's really just more so a 1 DC type of thing. You cheat yourself to a win.
Thank God, I'm not good at this game.
Perhaps with you, with the help of Laham, kind of discreetly feeding you an idea of how the village elder would play this game. And I would say in a similar divide and conquer type of strategy, to slowly pick you off so you can feel each blow as you get bested by like a 411 baddie. Your one piece that looked especially delicious, thanks to that guidance, is the piece that you use to quickly seize your victory. If this were chess, you 3-moved it. You'd hardly had to play much of a game. As she was setting up hers, she was setting it up, like ready to slowly move and conquer. But you, like rogue, swift, 3 actions only, 1 round. And the old woman just kind of goes, okay. Sure you never played this game before?
Oh, I've played. I'm afraid I just didn't have much time to perfect my strategy, though it looks like all those years fighting certainly helped.
Well, the war times are a struggle upon our lands. Can only hope it'll be over soon.
I don't get it. You just move rocks around? That's the game?
Yes, it is. I thought we had played sometime, Chanyol.
Probably lost.
I'll show you how to play again when we get back to Black Bear Clan.
All right. Let me see. Who are you looking for again?
We're looking for Anshi or Hyunmin.
Fancy dressed halfling gentleman.
Yeah.
Looks very official.
Yes, I remember. It was an afternoon. I was minding my own business, playing a round of Go. And then this young man walks in. Also played, lost. Swindled that young man for at least a gold's worth of games. And then he wanted to help rebuild our village, but I mean, well, look at us. We don't need nothing to be rebuilt. Look at all this. This is all hard work. Blood, sweat, tears, generations of families building on our sweet village here. We didn't need the help, but I mean, it was a lovely gesture. And then he demanded to know why this village still aligned itself with Girim. Because we're on Girim land. I personally found it weird that someone from Goryo showed up. I mean, diplomats come and go, but I haven't seen a diplomat since the war started. So here we are. Showing good faith, maybe. I got tired of that young man's nonsense and ended the conversation there, said goodbye, told him to return to his lands, and he left off frustrated.
Yes. War has been going on for some time. How many years has it been? I think Hitbit is above the table. Hitbit is trying to kind of bluff her way into getting the old woman to say how many years she thinks, like how many years into the war we are.
Tanya looks over to Desum again. Isn't the war over?
Please, somebody put a hand of
Yeah, actually, yeah, Desum just kind of like covers Chanyeol's mouth and just smiles awkwardly. Oh, wow, something, the fly on your mouth, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
The village elder thinks for a bit. And most of you are close enough to see that uncanny pause for a while. She goes, should still be on. We've sent so many of our sons and daughters to battle still. They keep asking. Drafting.
Do you got kids in the effort right now?
Oh, no, not me. Oh, no, most of mine didn't come back, but I do know I think it was. The innkeeper's son has been gone for a few years now. At least 2. This is the last time we sent any.
Well, we'll let them know that we're sorry to hear that.
Yes. Why are you looking for your young man again?
We were told he had gone missing. We wanted to simply find him.
You know, maybe running away from duties, that sort of lack. Make sure this official gets his way home.
Huh. Oh, well, that's surprising. Missing. No one here would do anything of the sort. We're simple people. But either speak to the innkeeper, or I would suggest the village doctor. He's a man of learning, and he often frequents this place. Helps me with my back and my legs, and she like rubs her thighs, and she's missing legs, so for you, Lahum, and Daesum as well, like you see she's like she's touching the air, but like the way she kind of pushes her hands on, it's like it's like she's grabbing something. She believes she's grabbing something.
Yeah.
And her fingers are not like closing around and squeezing through anything. Rest of y'all, legs, thighs, she's just rubbing them, and she goes, he frequents here. He would know much of the village gossip. He loves talking, that man. And so does his son. His son should be going off into a draft soon as well, I believe.
Perhaps we should go visit the village doctor then. After all, if Hyungmin Shi hurt himself in some way, then that's who we would have gone to see, right?
I would imagine.
Hmm. And when you go there, you make sure you tell my husband to come back home without any detours.
Will do.
Okay.
Be sure to.
All right, go now.
Something that
Leave this old woman to her rest. And she like sits back and like pulls out her pipe again. Puts something in it, lights it, and tries to smoke. Desum and Laum. This pipe is like old and rusted.
Mm.
Whatever she puts in it's honestly like she picked up like dirt and dust and burnt up wood and just put it in there. Her lighting it is literally just grabbing again another stick miscellaneous debris, like just like 1-2 wicking it, and nothing is there. There's nothing there, and she's still going at it, like she's breathing whatnot. The rest of you actually see like smoke come out, whatnot. She's smoking pipe. But that is what my spirit sensors can see.
I think on that cue to go to the doctor's house, they will say, while Hitbit was playing that game, I'm observed some interesting looking claw marks that were on the steps, and they actually lead towards the doctor's house. It looks like some sort of battle or scuffle happened, and then like there was it just drove itself all the way towards the doctor's house. So I definitely think that's where we should head next.
Then let's not waste time.
Let's get to it.
In which case, as we approach the doctor's house, can I do two things? So, firstly, I have an imprecise tremor sense within 30 feet of me. Do I feel people inside the house?
You would feel about 3 people in the house.
Great. And the second thing I'd like to do is, so I have detect alignment prepared at second level. So specifically, I would like to sense the presence of evil. And because this is at second level, I detect the aura's location and strength.
Okay. Just double checking something super quick here. You would feel an evil presence for sure. 100%. There is something evil in there. And you cast this at second level, right?
Yeah.
And really quickly again, what does it do that now that it's heightened?
So specifically, I learn each aura's location and strength. So, specifically, creatures of level like 0 to 5 don't really give off much of an aura, but if it's like 6 or higher, it gives off aura strength.
That's really good to know because I wasn't sure about aura strength per se. You do not sense.
Yeah.
You do not sense great evil. You do sense evil. Okay. If anything, actually, I would straight up say you sense it.
And I'm
kind of like the vibe you get would be mild possession.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, mild possession is the best way to describe
Just a little
this.
bit.
Spicy possession. That's different.
As a treat. Cool. I point towards the house, and I say, someone is possessed by something in there. I can't tell who it is or by what, but I can feel it.
Well, that's what we're here for, isn't it?
It is
Alright.
indeed.
I think before they all go in, I think that I have this I have this talisman that wards against foul magic. And I'm going to actually give it to Keeper. It's this small pouch with a bunch of like ingredients, like oils and like herbs and like a little bit of hair. But it will grant them to a 2 bonus because I'm an expert in occultism. It's a +2 circumstance bonus, I believe. So yeah, just handing that off.
It's specifically against a saving throw against a spell or a haunt.
Yes.
And Lahum, seeing Desum do that, kind of like their ears perk up and they go, "Oh, I completely forgot." And she will reach into her hanbok somewhere, folds of it, and produce. I think hers is like a long rectangular piece of paper that has like characters written on it. And they will hold it between 2 fingers and then very casually kind of hold it out to Chanyol.
What?
To protect yourself.
Okay.
I figure Headbit can handle themselves. And it provides you the same. +2 bonus against any saving throw against a spell or a haunt.
I take out a little piece of porcelain painted, and I do hand it to Haybit. This is only a +1 bonus, but it should give you a little bit of
I
protection.
love that 3 of us have root magic. That's
Yes,
so
we
funny.
do.
That's so funny to me.
You gotta.
Hitbit definitely takes the statue and looks over it, shrugs, and shoves it into one of the pockets of the jacket and kind of just like nods.
Pina Nuna, are you sure you don't want the stronger charm? You're old.
I have been dealing with ghosts for longer than you have been alive.
Yeah.
Also, before we go in, Keeper will kind of like gesture with their hands, kind of forming a circle, and kind of like push it towards. I'm gonna push it towards Chanyol's pike and cast Disrupting Weapons. So you deal an extra 1d4 positive damage to undead.
Yeah.
Oh, up to 2 weapons. Ooh, I will also then put that on whatever you've got. Hey, but I'm assuming like a dagger or something.
Got a rapier.
On your rapier then. So both of you deal an extra
Poggers.
1d4 positive damage. And let me just mark that
Are
spell
there any
off.
other preparations y'all would like to do before going into the doctor's
Yeah.
house?
Unsheath the pike.
Unsheath the pike. Okay, cool. Otherwise, are we all good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love this prep work. And the matching root magic. Besties. I love that shit. That was cute.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.